Hey guys, thanks for joining me. Today I'm talking about the Hourglass primer. It's called Veil. This is the packaging and this is the little bottle that it comes in. This is just a 10ml. And I'm actually surprised that I have this, that I've even bought it, to be honest, because I saw this on somebody's favourites, one of the YouTube beauty gurus. It was on her favourites. And she was saying that this is amazing and that it cost £20 for this little bottle, which is I think 10ml. 10ml, yeah. And as I was watching it, I just thought, there's no way I would spend £20 on 10ml of a primer. I'm not really a lover of primers, to be honest, because all of the ones I've tried do make a difference, but they make a difference for a short amount of time, or they don't make such a huge difference that it would encourage me to wear it every day, and it just always feels like an extra step that I don't need. So to give you a kind of frame of reference, the primers that I have tried, I've not tried that many actually, but the two main ones that I use and like are the Dr. Jart Recover Primer. And what I get from that is if I put it on, it does feel a little bit oily, a little bit greasy, but if you put your foundation on straight away, it gives a lovely kind of airbrushed effect, but it doesn't make my makeup last any longer, I don't think. And then the Garnier 5-second blur, if I put that on, that's the one that I found the most to kind of blur my pores here. But again, it doesn't make my makeup last any longer. The effect doesn't seem to last all day. So that's all I've really tried. I'm sure there are some others that I've tried, but I can't actually remember. Oh, I've tried the Benefit 15-hour one, and I think I did a review telling you guys that was not, it didn't work for me. I'm not sure if it does for other people. Actually, there was a comment, if you saw on that video, from a lady that worked behind the Benefit counter and said even she didn't think it worked very well, but there are some people that love it, so you know. Anyway, I didn't intend on buying another primer because, like I said, it's not something I'm really attracted to, but I went into Harvey Nichols to buy a NARS eyeliner, which they didn't have, but anyway, I noticed they had Hourglass products in there. They're now selling Hourglass products in Harvey Nichols, and I bought ambient light powders, which I'm sure you'll have heard of, and I've done a whole nother video on them. And because I bought them, or bought that powder, I then went back and bought another one. They gave me a sample of this primer. And so, of course, because it's a sample, I thought I would try it. And I tried it the very next day. And as soon as I used it, I was like, wow, this is something different. This is definitely different from your average primer. The instant you put it on, it feels really, really silky. So it's a lovely feeling going onto your skin. It feels silky, but then it almost instantly kind of mattifies and just feels like the loveliest base for foundation. They do two primers. This one is called Veil and it's oil free, and obviously for oily skin, and there is another one for dry skin. I don't know what that one's called, but yeah, it just gives you that lovely kind of base. So I thought, well, that's a good start. I put my foundation on. I didn't have a chance to kind of wait. I'm not sure if you're supposed to or not, and my foundation looked immaculate. Now, your foundation does normally look nice at the beginning of the day, obviously, because you've taken time to do it, but I hadn't used my beauty blender. I had just used my fingers to put my foundation on, and it just looked really flawless, and I thought, well, that's nice. It's the same kind of effect, maybe a little bit better than the Dr. Jart Recover Primer, but I didn't expect it to last very long, and I didn't expect it to keep me oil free, and neither did I expect it to make my foundation last any longer, because my foundation lasts fairly long anyway, because I use Revlon Colour Stay or Vichy Derma Blend or YSL Teint Tout Eclat, I think it's called. And they're all pretty long lasting. And you know, the fact that when I come home sort of 12 hours after I put my foundation on and it looks a little bit sort of faded here, doesn't usually bother me that much. You know, I kind of think that would be a miracle. So I had my foundation on, it looked lovely, and off I went to work. Then you'll hear me say in many videos that I've just started my medication for my hormone imbalance, or I'm off my medication for my hormone imbalance, and that always depends on how my skin is, because when I'm on the medication and it kicks in, it gets really dry. When I'm off it, it's really oily. So I'm only just starting to take it again, and hopefully it will kick in soon, but at the moment my skin is super oily. So oily that I have to use, you know, these blotting papers. I use them probably, I put my makeup on in the morning, by 8 o'clock I'm using a blotting paper, so probably every couple of hours. And as my medication kicks in, I can go longer without using these blotting papers, so it maybe go to 3 hours, and then maybe just the morning and lunchtime, and then I can go like maybe once a day and use it, and then I kind of forget about it, and it's only, you know, weeks later I go, oh God, I can't remember the last time I used blotting paper, so my skin is obviously dried out. Anyway, there is a point to me telling you all this. because I've been at the stage this week, the whole of this week, for needing to blot every couple of hours. And with this, I did not need to blot at all, which is a flipping miracle, I have to say. And I did think, well, maybe it's my medication kicked in, but I don't think it is, because even if it was my medication kicking in, I would have been less oily. It wouldn't have meant I could go the whole day. I wouldn't have gone from one day blotting every 2 hours to another day not blotting at all. But not only that, when I looked at my foundation at lunchtime, having not blotted at all, it still looked like it did when I put it on in the morning. And then I did the same thing again at maybe about 4 o'clock before I left work. And it again still looked like when I put it on at 6 o'clock that morning. I just thought that was phenomenal, really. I mean, I never imagined that a product could do that. I just thought it would be hype. And had I not been given a tester, you know, a sample, I would never have dreamed of buying this. So again, you know, I'm always the kind of skeptic, and I thought, well, perhaps it only works with that foundation, you know. So I tried 3 different foundations. I've used it 3 days in a row with 3 different foundations, and I've had the same effect every day, which is why I went and bought it. And I thought, no, this is definitely worth me spending my money on. Now, you can buy the big one for £50. I don't know how much is in that one, but £50 to me is just too expensive to spend on a primer, although that doesn't really make sense, because I'm sure you get more than 20ml, and this is £20 for 10ml. But you know, you never know how your skin's going to go after time, especially with me. My skin's so different. Maybe when it's dry, this one won't work so well for me, which is why I bought the smaller bottle. I couldn't really afford to buy the big bottle either. And also with the little sample that I was given, it's just in, I've got a pot in here, I can show you the size. It was just in one of these sample pots that they gave it to me. And I've literally only used a tiny bit, because for me, I only used it in my T-zone. And so in that, there is only, I don't know, maybe 2ml or something like that, and it's going to last me a long time. I mean, I haven't used even half of it, and I've used that for 3 or 4 days. So this, I think, will last me a long time, because you probably only need 1 pump each time, you know. So I'm going to see how long this lasts me, see if it continues to impress me, and I'm pretty sure I will repurchase it. But I would just 100% recommend this. It's not like me to be recommending a high-end product, particularly, because a lot of them to me don't live up to the hype. A lot of them, there are some lovely products, don't get me wrong. You know, I love Chanel products, and mostly I find that the Chanel products are worth the money. But there are often kind of dupes that you can get, and things that you can get in the drugstore, in Boots or whatever, that cost a fraction of the high-end one but perform the same. But for this one, I have yet to find something, anything cheaper or otherwise, that works as well as this. So I would say that it's worth the money. I'll read you what it says on the packaging, just in case you're interested, because I haven't said much about the application or how it works. It says, experience the primer phenomenon. Can't say that word. This luxuriously silky formula goes beyond traditional primers by concealing redness, minimising the appearance of pores. Well, actually, yeah, I didn't tell you that. It definitely blurs things. I've got it on today. Now, my pores are shrinking a little bit from using my Clean and Clear, but I definitely think it looks just a little bit more flawless. Softening the look of fine lines and wrinkles. It also repels water and keeps your makeup looking freshly applied all day, which it really does. Broad spectrum SPF15 helps shield skin from the sun. Oh, that's it, the rest is in French. So it definitely lives up to those claims. It's nice that it's got the SPF in it, although obviously that wouldn't last all day. But yeah, don't think there's anything more to say about that. If you've got any questions about it, then feel free to ask me. This morning I put it on and then left it for 15 minutes, because in the instructions it seems to be talking about just using it as a sunscreen. It's saying helps prevent sunburn, put on and wait 15 minutes before sun exposure, you know. So I thought, well, I'll put it on and wait a little while before putting my foundation on. I didn't notice an awful lot of difference, so I think it's fine to use immediately before your foundation, which is what I did all week. But yeah, if there's anything I've missed, any other questions, stick them in the comments below. If you have got it and are enjoying it as much as me, let me know. Or if you're not, let me know as well, because I'm always interested in, you know, how my views compare to everybody else's. So hope you enjoyed that. I'm also doing a video on, I'm not sure which order I'll put them up, but I'm doing a video on the Hourglass ambient light powders as well, which I didn't enjoy at first, and now really love, although I haven't got a huge amount of experience of them. But if you'd like to see that, then I'll put a link below. And thank you very much for joining me. Hope you're having a lovely weekend, and I'll see you soon.